not really used to being in front of the mic. I'm kind of always behind the camera, so this is very new to me. I guess the story that I will tell today will be the story how I met Suzanne. It's funny because, you know, one thing always leads to the next, and you don't expect things to happen, right? So I met Suzanne through improv comedy, and how I got into improv comedy was actually quite, wasn't really planned for, because I have a cousin, and he likes to do drama, and you know, out there working as an adult, he kind of lost that passion. So I encouraged him, man, why don't you go do something? Why don't you go do some drama or maybe some improv comedy, and I'll come and join you. And he's like, okay, he found Big Four Theatre, and I joined along. And so we did the 6 weeks beginners course. And I did not know, you know, what improv was really about, but getting into it was so much fun, you know what I mean? It was just being spontaneous and just, you know, riffing off other people. And so in our class, you know, we had to remember people's names, and you know, that was tricky in itself. But Suzanne stood out because she always plays this fun character. She always yeah, you know. So Suzanne was funny, and me and her, we always had this chemistry, you know, being on stage with each other, and it was great. Like we end up hanging out. And start getting chatting. And as I got to learn more about Suzanne, I learned that she was actually quite passionate about multicultural Australia and about Asian Australians, because Suzanne is Sri Lankan herself, and she was actually doing a program called Brisasia. And so she asked me, Cmos, how do you feel about your Asian Australian identity? And I could not answer too well, because it's a question I never really thought about. You know, what does it mean to be an Asian Australian? I always identify myself as Vietnamese Chinese. I love my Vietnamese and Chinese heritage. I grew up with Hong Kong movies and Bruce Lee films and all that. But it was something that I never thought too hard about, because growing up in Australia, you get so used to, you know, the Australian culture, and you kind of sometimes forget where you've been and what you can offer. So I was curious, because I grew up in a place called Nala, where there was a big Vietnamese community, and so I always had a strong influence of my Asian heritage. So I felt like it wasn't too much of a big deal. But then I understood that there are other Asian Australians out there who would grow up in other suburbs of Australia. Maybe they'll probably be the only Asian person in that whole neighbourhood, and they would feel foreign and feel left out. And so I realised that there was a spectrum. There was people like me who had a rich upbringing of their Asian heritage and were quite proud of it, and then there were people who would shy away from it. So I was curious about, wow, there's a story about in there, so why don't we go out and make a show or documentary about it? And diving into it, we started to make this show called That's My Cup of Tea. And it really has been a learning process, because it's such a complicated subject, you know, identity. What are you? Are you Australian? Are you Asian? Are you a hybrid? How do you identify yourself? What is multiculturalism in Australia? What is it to be a modern Australian? You know, and there's so many perspectives. Some people say there's no issue at all, but then other people say there is definitely some issues. So I really wanted to go out there and interview people and find out for myself what's people's thoughts about it, and what can we do to make it better, and what can we do to understand and educate and get people talking about it more. And I feel like not enough people talk about it. So that's my short story. It's not a long one, sorry, but it is something that I'm very passionate about. It all started from improv comedy, like me just going out there, helping out my cousin, being there to support him, and then next thing I know, I'm dive deep into this massive project. It's a huge project. it's been taking up so much of my time, and I feel like it's something that I'm happy to do for the next year or so. I want to interview as many people as I can, and just really get the story out there, and get, you know, what I really want to do is to inspire and to encourage and to get people embracing, you know, a real multicultural Australia. And let's just make and celebrate this place, make it even better than what it is now. So that's my story.